This is a special report from ABC News Digital.
I'm Ty Hernandez in New York, and this is an ABC News Digital special report. Edward Snowden has come out of the shadows today. For the first time, he's reached out publicly while being held up and holed up at the Moscow airport for nearly 3 weeks. Snowden spoke to human rights activists today. They tweeted out this picture. He says that he will apply for temporary asylum in Russia. He accuses the United States of taking illegal measures to prevent him from accepting asylum in other countries, among other things. Now we're joined by ABC's Kirat Radia in Moscow. Who did Snowden meet with, and what did they discuss?
Well, good morning. This was an unusual meeting today. It was the first time that anybody had actually seen Snowden since he arrived here about 3 weeks ago. What he essentially said is that he does not feel safe traveling right now. He does have offers for asylum in Venezuela, Bolivia, and possibly even Nicaragua. But Snowden said that he doesn't feel safe right now. He knows that the U.S. is pressuring those countries and countries that he might transit through, like Cuba, to not give him safe passage. So he is applying for asylum in Russia. He knows that President Putin has put conditions on that offer for asylum for him, essentially saying that he has to stop harming America. That means stop releasing classified information before he could get that asylum. Snowden, according to people who were in the meeting, say that he does think that he meets those conditions. He says that he gave all the classified information he could have already, and the reports are coming out only because the journalists are now republishing their reports, but he has no more damaging information to release himself.
Interesting there, because all this time we've talked about the laptops that he's carrying with him in sort of this ominous way. He also has very specific details. He talks about the United States asking military allies to ground a Latin American president's plane. Do we know where he's getting his information from?
Well, actually, in fact, we don't know where he's getting that information from, but there, as you may recall, the Bolivian president's plane was forced to land in Austria. It was flying back from a summit meeting in Moscow, and it needed to refuel in some parts of Europe before making the cross across the Atlantic. And we do know that some of those countries denied his plane the ability to land in their country. Therefore, he had to go and land in Austria. But we don't know exactly where Snowden's getting his information, saying that the U.S. had threatened those countries in order to do it.
All right. What else did he say in the lengthy statement he released via WikiLeaks?
Right. Well, he did release a lengthy statement which WikiLeaks has posted on their website, essentially saying that he feels that the United States is using illegal measures to keep him here, pressuring countries. His message to the people who were in that meeting was, please take my message and send it to President Putin, send it to world leaders, and urge them to give me asylum, to give me safe passage.
Now, he seems to want to now request temporary asylum in Russia, and then from that point head over to Latin America. What do we know about this plan, and is that feasible at this point with Putin?
Well, it's not a fully baked plan at this point. Right now, he thinks that he cannot get safe passage to Latin America, so he wants to stay here in Russia temporarily. Now, he didn't say exactly how long that would be, but he says that if he can stay here for a little while, it may allow him to eventually make his way to Latin America, where he does have some long-term options.
All right, and we know that the Russians are planning to host President Obama in 6 weeks. What are the odds that Snowden is still in Moscow when the president arrives? That certainly complicates things.
Well, it puts President Putin in a very complicated position. President Obama is coming here for a summit in early September. This is a meeting that the Kremlin had begged the White House to take. The White House was very reluctant to agree to the meeting, and so the Kremlin really wants this to be a success. And if Snowden is still here, U.S. officials have signaled that President Obama might not come. So it puts President Putin in a very difficult position. He can't, on one hand, be seen as helping Snowden too much because it might damage his relationships with the U.S. and jeopardize this summit, while on the other hand, he can't be seen as giving him up, because for domestic political reasons, he has to be seen as strong on that front.
And do we know any details about how this meeting came together? Is this a sign that Snowden feels that he's running out of options at this point?
Well, actually, it may in fact be a sign of the opposite. It was a sort of unusual meeting. He's been holed up in this airport for 3 weeks. Nobody has seen him anywhere. And all of a sudden, some organizations received an email last night. It seemed somewhat suspicious at the time, giving them a phone number to call with some more information. It was a cell phone number, apparently, for somebody at the airport. They were told to meet in Terminal F. There would be a man holding a sign that said G9, and that was all they were told. Later on, the details came out that those people would meet there, would be escorted to a meeting somewhere inside the airport. We're told by participants in the meeting that it was a part of the airport near a gate that was roped off. So all of that may be a sign that Russian officials are in fact cooperating with Snowden and may be willing to offer him asylum. It may be a good sign for him.
Okay, and what happens next here? I mean, I know there's a lot of unknowns. Are there any immediate plans for another meeting with Snowden at this point?
Nothing planned at this point, but the ball is really in the Russian president's court. His spokesman has already responded to his renewed request for asylum here and said that the conditions remain the same, that he would have to, again, stop harming America. Snowden has, of course, responded to that himself already through this meeting. So it really remains to be seen what Russia will do, and if this drags on too much longer, what Snowden will do.
All right, ABC's Kiri Radia in Moscow. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, NSA leaker Edward Snowden spoke to Human Rights Watch and other activist groups at the Moscow airport, where he spent the last 3 weeks almost. Snowden will apply for temporary asylum in Russia before potentially making his way to Latin America. At least that's what he hopes. You can get the full story on abcnews.com. I'm Ty Hernandez in New York.
This has been a special report from ABC News Digital.